Hello, parents. Welcome to our weekly Speak Ups Facebook Live session. Thank you for joining us. My name is Esmeralda Fabián, and I will be your bilingual moderator today. Esto significa que bienvenidos, padres de familia, a nuestra sesión semanal de Facebook Live de Speak Up. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. Mi nombre es Esmeralda Fabián y yo voy a estar traduciendo al español esta conversación durante toda la transmisión. As some of our younger children return to school this week, here we are again, learning about a new school experience that the COVID pandemic has forced us to explore. And I know this might sound a little intimidating, but remember how full of uncertainty we were a year ago? Well, today we are full of hope that things are getting better for our families and especially for our children. We are here today to show you that we can support each other so our children can begin returning to school campuses in the safest way possible. With that in mind, LAUSD created the Daily Pass, a streamlined process that makes sure all kids who enter the school campus have been screened to prevent or at least minimize the risk of COVID infection. Mientras que nuestros niños más pequeños están regresando ya a las escuelas, aquí estamos de nuevo, tratando de aprender una nueva experiencia escolar que la pandemia del COVID nos está invitando a explorar. Y ya sé que puede ser un poquito intimidante o podemos sentir hasta un poco de miedo, pero ¿recuerdan cómo hace un año estábamos llenos de incertidumbre y de miedo de no saber qué esperar? Pues hoy las cosas son un poco diferentes. Estamos llenos de esperanza de que las cosas van a salir mejor, de que las cosas van a mejorar para nuestras familias y especialmente para nuestros niños. Estamos aquí hoy para mostrar el apoyo uno hacia el otro y poder asegurarnos de que nuestros niños puedan regresar al campus escolar de la manera más segura posible. Con esto en mente, el Distrito Escolar de Los Ángeles creó el Pase Diario, una herramienta que va a hacer el proceso en el que nuestros niños puedan ser evaluados antes de entrar al plantel escolar y así se pueda reducir el riesgo de infección de COVID. I know what you're thinking. The Daily Pass, what is that? Is that a digital tool? Is that a platform? Is that an app? I'm not tech savvy. I don't have a digital device. I know whatever your concern is, that's what we are having today, LAUSD officials, available to you so they can explain about the Daily Pass and what other alternatives you as a parent have. Yo sé que ustedes están pensando, ¿qué es el Pase Diario? ¿Es una herramienta digital? ¿Es una aplicación? Yo no sé de tecnología. Cualquiera que sea su preocupación, el día de hoy usted tiene a su disponibilidad funcionarios del Distrito Escolar de Los Ángeles que le van a explicar lo que es y qué otras alternativas usted tiene en este proceso. So now let me introduce you to our wonderful guests today. Our wonderful guests are LAUSD officials who are overseeing this process, and they have all the experience and they're here to answer your questions. So I'm going to start with Nancy Ceballos and Dr. Rosalinda Lugo. La doctora Rosalinda Lugo y Nancy Ceballos trabajan en el Pase Diario, en el programa y en este proceso. Elva Cortés, she works with the Office of COVID Response. Elva Cortés trabaja en la oficina de respuesta de COVID. Claire Lubrin, she works at the Parent Community Services Center. Claire Lubrin trabaja con el Centro de Padres y de Servicios Comunitarios. Dr. Maribel Luna, she's the Senior Director of the Division of Special Education. Tenemos con nosotros a la doctora Maribel Luna, que es la directora del Departamento de Educación Especial. And Sarah Mooney from the Office of the Superintendent. Ceremony trabaja en la oficina del superintendente del LAUSD. Thank you so much all for making this possible and being here with us today. And before we hear from you, I want to invite you all to watch the following video, which it's going to give us an intro to the Daily Pass. Gracias a todos por hacer esto posible, a las personas del distrito. Y antes de que empecemos a escuchar la explicación de ellos, su presentación, les quiero invitar a que veamos este video sobre lo que es el pase diario.
There's never been anything like this virus in our lifetime. Often, it's hard to see the effects it's having on our children. Has this conversation taken place in your home?
Mom, I'm scared about going back to school. I don't want to get sick, and I don't want to get you and Dad sick.
Our scientists tell us there are 3 things we must do to stay safe: wear masks, make sure we social distance, and wash our hands. And now, your school, with the help of Microsoft Corporation, has created another. Introducing Daily Pass, your exclusive ticket for safely going back to school. Each week, you can schedule your free on-campus COVID test. The results are displayed in your Daily Pass. And if you choose to take your test off campus, you can post the results in your Daily Pass. And the moment vaccinations are available, you'll simply be able to schedule yours through your Daily Pass. But the real magic is your daily health check. Just answer a few simple health questions every day, and like magic, your entrance ticket appears.
Welcome back. Welcome to school.
So, how did it go?
Dad, I have to admit, I was scared at first, but then I felt so safe. It was so good to be back. Thanks for keeping me safe. I love you so much.
Thank you for being the caring family. We're working together with all in the school community to bring children back to school as safely as possible. We're looking forward to seeing their smiling faces back in school where they belong. Thank you.
Thank you for that video, Sarah. And that's right. We all want to see our children's happy faces back in school again. That's for sure. Todos queremos ver esas caritas felices de nuevo otra vez en las escuelas. Y para eso vamos a aprender sobre el Daily Pass. So that's why we are here today. How can we make sure our children are safe in school? Our children are safe in school and they're not afraid and they don't know, they don't feel like they don't know what to expect, but the opposite, that we as parents can show them that everything is going to be okay. So for that, I will have one of our LAUSD officials to actually explain to you what are the requirements for your children to be in school before actually they get to school and every day. Ahora le voy a dar la palabra a uno de nuestros invitados del Distrito Escolar de Los Ángeles para que hable sobre los requisitos que su niño o niña tendrá que cumplir antes de ir a la escuela y lo que harán todos los días. Elva and Beatriz, I think they will be presenting now.
Yes, thank you, Esme. I don't know if we're sharing our PowerPoint, but I'll go ahead and begin. Our students, before they are able to come onto campus, every child, every student will have to take a negative COVID test. And the week prior to their first day of school, they should have a result that they can that shows that they're negative and that they're good to go back to school. At that time, the parent will also consent to periodic testing. And then every day when they report to school, every child will be able to answer the daily health check questions, and their temperature will be taken before entering the building.
Ok, Elba, permíteme traducir lo que acabas de compartir con nosotros. I'm sorry, let me translate into Spanish what you just said. Elba nos acaba de decir que el requisito va a ser que todos los niños tengan una prueba de COVID antes de asistir al campus escolar y que tiene que obviamente ser una prueba con resultado negativo. Y también los padres se tienen que comprometer a hacer la prueba periódicamente. Después de esto, una vez que estén en el campus escolar, tendrán que también hacer un chequeo de salud o una evaluación diaria de la temperatura. Ustedes, como cuando vamos a las tiendas o a los restaurantes, también se les va a tomar la temperatura a los niños y tienen que llenar un cuestionario de cómo se sienten ese día que van a asistir a la escuela. Okay, Elba, please go on.
Thank you. So if we can go to the next slide, what we see here is we have currently 43 sites across the district where we are providing opportunities for COVID testing. We are open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And parents can take their students to any one of the sites. They can schedule their appointment and go to one of these sites and make sure that they're able to test the week prior to the first day of school.
Sí, Elba acaba de decir que hay 43 sitios escolares donde se puede llevar a cabo, donde los padres pueden llevar a sus niños para hacer la prueba de COVID. Y están abiertos los 7 días de la semana, de 7 de la mañana a 7 de la tarde. Elba, please go on.
Thank you. And these are when students arrive at school, the first thing that they will do is they will have their daily pass, or they will have a daily check. So a student will basically make sure that they're wearing their face mask, and that they're gonna keep a 6-foot distance, and then they're going to be taken temperature. So you could see right there in the picture that our student has arrived. They are being greeted and they are wearing their mask, and they're also going to have their temperature taken at the entry point.
Si los niños van a llegar con su daily pass, con su pase diario de todos los días que asistan a la escuela, y también el personal de la escuela se va a asegurar que ellos estén usando una mascarilla, un cubrebocas, y que mantengan los 6 pies de distancia, y también se les va a estar haciendo el chequeo de temperatura todos los días que asistan a la escuela.
Thank you. Okay, so the next point here is just the next slide is about the temperature check. So all students will be their temperature will be taken upon arrival. If their temperature is 99.9 Fahrenheit or less, and they're ensuring that they're using their mask appropriately. So these two will be checked at the entry point. So it's just another image to show you how easy and quick just checking for these two items will be.
Sí, Elba acaba de decir que lo mismo, porque va a haber gente a la entrada de la escuela donde se les van a estar checando la temperatura, donde una persona se va a asegurar de que los niños estén usando la mascarilla, el cubrebocas correctamente, que sea seguro, que mantengan su distancia y que lleven su cuestionario. Elba, you can
Yeah.
go on. Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me just quickly remind all people who are watching us that they can start typing your questions in the comment section. So when it's time for our LAUSD official to address your concerns, we can do so. You can also, watch for the links that we will be posting in the same comment section that can direct you to tutorials or other resources. So watch for that during the transmission. We're going to be posting those in the comment section. Les queremos recordar a los padres que que ustedes pueden empezar a poner sus comentarios o sus preguntas en la sección de comentarios y cuando uno de nuestros invitados del distrito pueda responderles, lo hará. Y también vamos a estar poniendo enlaces para más información o para otros recursos para ustedes. Thank you, Eva. Go on.
So,
Yes, I think then, go ahead. This is Dr. Lugo.
right. So now I'm going to review with you the daily pass and the tool that we developed. As Dr. Cortez mentioned, there are requirements for answering the daily health check questions. And the district decided, and basically our superintendent wanted to create a tool that would help parents and staff members and students by creating this tool that we would use to get scanned at the school. So we formed a partnership with Microsoft. And over the last few months, Microsoft has been developing this tool that we call Daily Pass. And it's not a requirement to use the Daily Pass, but it is a tool to help us make it easy. So let me just tell you, this morning, I went and got my COVID test at Garfield High School. I used the Daily Pass to schedule my COVID test, and it was pretty good. I used my email, address, my employee number. I was able to go get my Daily Pass to go to Garfield High School. I took the test. I'm going to get my results, and was all through the Daily Pass, right? This afternoon, I came to help 52nd Street School, which had their opening on Monday. The same thing. I was in my car. I went into my because it's no longer an app. I went into the internet. I put in their Daily Pass, LAUSD. The Daily Pass came up. I went in there, answered the questions. I wanted to go to 52nd Street School, and I got the QR code. And when I came to the school, they scanned it. And now the school has a record that I was here at the school and that I answered the questions. So for me, my personal experience, it's been easy. I know that there's some been complications. It's a tool that's new, so we've had some kinks. But if you have any problems, just email us at dailypass@lausd.net, and we'll come and help you in order to make sure that the tool is working like it should be. So again, the option for completing the health questions that Dr. Cortez mentioned, that Alba mentioned, is in order to support our Daily Pass. So I'm sorry, Ms. Fabian, I know that you were having me to translate. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
I think I took some notes and I'm going to translate as fast as
I'll go
possible.
slower.
La doctora Lugo estaba diciendo que el pase diario no es necesariamente una aplicación, sino que ustedes pueden accesar a través de internet, en su teléfono, computadora, donde sea, pueden, con el enlace, pueden ir al pase diario. Y ella estaba dando la explicación de su experiencia personal. Cuando vas al Daily Pass o pase diario al enlace, puedes meter tu información, nombre y otros datos, y después eso te va a dar un código para hacer, digamos, la cita para la prueba de COVID. Te da un código y con ese código tú puedes ir en tu carro, bueno, no tienes que nada más enseñar ese código para hacer la prueba. Ella dice que su experiencia, ella fue el martes, y su experiencia fue muy fácil, pero ella entiende que puede haber complicaciones para quienes no están familiarizados con esta herramienta. Así que ellos están abiertos a recibir sus comentarios y cualquier problema que ustedes tengan, tienen que mandar un correo electrónico a dailypass@lausd.net.
Thank you very much. So I'll go slow in this slide here. So this slide basically is showing the different components of the Daily Pass. You could schedule your COVID-19 test appointment through the Daily Pass. And it's important as parents that you make sure that your children are linked to that test, because if you don't link it, and somebody else is going to talk about this a little bit later in the presentation, then your child could have the test, but it's not connected to him, then it becomes a problem. You could get your test results as well through the Daily Pass. You get to answer the daily health check questions that Dr. Cortez mentioned earlier. And then you get to receive a QR code that you could take to your school and get it scanned. And when you get to your school, they scan it, and then they're able to say that you were at the school and you answered the daily health check questions.
Sí, la doctora Lugo explicó los componentes de esta herramienta digital de Daily Pass, del pase diario. Es que uno, puedes programar la cita para una prueba de COVID para su niño o su niña. Dos, asegurarse que esa prueba esté conectada con su niño o su niña para que pueda recibir el resultado y para que ahí mismo pueda obtener el código que va a enseñar que el niño o la niña va a mostrar cuando quiera entrar a la escuela. Y también ahí mismo, en esta misma aplicación, en esta misma página de internet, puede también responder a las preguntas que son necesarias que conteste para cada día que va a la escuela, sobre si tiene algún malestar, si tiene fiebre, si cualquiera de esas preguntas que van a aparecer ahí. Así que es todo en un solo lugar para hacerlo más fácil para ustedes.
Thank you. And then just finally, in order to access the Daily Pass, at the bottom of this slide, you'll see that it says dailypass.lausd.net. You put that address in you could Google it if you want, or in your address bar, and then it gets you to the Daily Pass.
En la presentación que están viendo ahorita está el enlace de donde pueden accesar al pase diario, y es en inglés dailypass.lausd.net, y es todo lo que necesitan para poder empezar a accesar esta herramienta.
And then just finally, the next presentation is going to be done by our fabulous Nancy Ceballos. She's been leading this effort. She's been done an amazing job. So I just want to give hats off to Nancy, because since September, she was leading this work, and we have the features we have in the Daily Pass because of her leadership. So I just want to give her big hats off and a big kudos to her good work.
No, thank you, Dr. Lugo. It's definitely been a team effort, and appreciate all of you, especially and our team members in the district, for the support to do this work. And appreciate also our parents who have been providing us their feedback as well on how to make this tool better for them. And just so you know, the web tool did start off as an app, right? So we did pilot it at some schools. It is no longer accessible, and that's because we wanted to include all of these features for you all, the ability for you to schedule your tests, get your test results, do your daily health check, and also for employees, they were able to book their vaccine appointments. And because we were having to turn this around in a very short timeline, we have to move away from the app into this web-based version. And so the neat part is that if you have internet accessibility, you could just use a tablet, a laptop, or a cell phone, type in dailypass@lausd.net, and you should be able to access it as long as there is internet connectivity as well. Next slide. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Esme.
Sí, Nancy nos está diciendo que al principio esta herramienta era una aplicación, pero ya no lo es. Ustedes pueden accesar esta plataforma de manera por internet, solo necesitan tener conexión al internet y escribir dailypass.lusd.net y es todo lo que necesitan hacer para poder accesar. Y la razón por la que se cambió de una aplicación a esta plataforma de internet es porque el distrito quiere que todo sea más rápido y para que puedan ustedes tener todo en un solo lugar.
Man, you were able to concise it very quickly. That's awesome. Thank you, Esme. And then the next thing I wanted to just provide the steps for those parents that don't have a parent portal account, right? In order for us to provide that one-stop shop experience, we need our parents to have a parent portal account. And so if you don't have a parent portal account, you can register at parentportal.lausd.net. And we do have our hotline that is available, 213-443-1300 if you need assistance with registering for a parent portal account. And we are using that parent portal account to establish that email link to the district's app, right? I'm sorry, to the district's Daily Pass. So once you have that email address and that password, for our TK through 12 children, we do need them to have their children linked in the parent portal. So they do need to take another step. They do need I think they need their PIN number and their student ID. So that's step 2, linking your children in the parent portal. For our early ed children, they do not need to be linked. Just want to stress that because I know some of our early ed parents wanted to link their children in the parent portal. And so want to make sure that, you know, for early ed parents, no need to link your children in the parent portal. For our TK through 12 children, parents, please link them in the parent portal. And then step 3, you could sign in using that parent portal email address and password to schedule your COVID test or to get your daily pass.
Sí, para poder accesar el Daily Pass se necesita crear una cuenta a través del portal para padres, el Parent Portal, y ahí es donde necesitan tener una cuenta de correo electrónico que se pueda ligar con la plataforma del Pase Diario, del Daily Pass. También, esto solo es necesario para estudiantes del grado TK, Transitional Kindergarten, al grado 12, porque se necesita el ID de estudiante de su niño o de su niña que vaya ligado a la cuenta del Parent Portal. Para los niños que van al grado de educación temprana, no necesitan ligar esa cuenta con la del Parent Portal. Y para ir al Parent Portal, pueden ir a la página parentportal.lusd.net. I think I'm missing the last part, Nancy.
Yes, and so once they have that parent portal account, right, for our TK through 12 parents, and they have their children linked in the parent portal, then they could visit dailypass.lusd.net to book their appointment or get their daily pass. For our early ed parents, right, they don't need to link their children. They just, once they have that email address and password, they go to dailypass.lusd.net and are able to access all of the features.
Para tener acceso al pase diario y todo lo que necesitan, lo que pueden hacer ahí, necesitan crear esa cuenta de nuevo para grados de TK al grado 12. Y ya, entonces tienen que crear esa cuenta para poder ir al Daily Pass. De nuevo, los niños que van en la educación temprana, grados de educación temprana, solo necesitan el password y el ID.
El correo electrónico.
Perdón,
el correo. Sí.
Y también Nancy dijo un dato muy importante, que si tienen algún problema en crear la cuenta o no saben cómo crear una cuenta en el Parent Portal, existe una línea telefónica de asistencia a la que pueden llamar, es el 213-443-13-0, que perdí el número, 13-0.
213. ¿Sabes qué? I'm drawing a blank. 213-443, 213-443-1300.
00. I couldn't read my own writing.
No worries, that happens.
1300.
Mhm. Gracias. Thank you. And Dr. Cortez, you want to take the next slide on alternatives? Or
Yes, Nancy, we can go to the next slide on alternatives for parents that do not have a daily pass. So we just talked about
Dr. Cortez, could we pause for a question? I think Esme had a question from a parent.
yes.
Dr. Cortez, sorry to interrupt you, but before we go into that, I know that already there are some people like having some questions that one of our parents is going to address, or at least, like share her experience. Irma Villalpando is joining us today. Irma is one of Speak Up's parent leader, and she's an LAUSD parent at Macy's in Maywood. She also works at a school site as a supervision aide, and she knows firsthand the safety protocols for months now. But she started using the daily pass actually, I believe a couple weeks ago, because her daughter is using the pass for sports practice. So she has some experience, and I would love to hear from Irma. We all love to hear from Irma what's her experience with the daily pass. Irma is here. Irma, let me make your introduction in Spanish. Bienvenida a Irma Villalpando. Ella es una de nuestras madres líderes de Speak Up. Ella es una madre de LAUSD, de la escuela Macy's en Maywood. Y ella también trabaja en un plantel escolar. Así que ella conoce de primera mano ya los protocolos de seguridad. Y también ya empezó a usar el pase diario porque su hija lo está usando para poder tener acceso a sus prácticas de deportes, y ella ya tiene experiencia usándolo, y creo que es importante para nosotros saber de cuál ha sido su experiencia. Irma, do you want to share your experience with us?
Yes, hello. I'm Irma Villalpando, and I do have two daughters at Macy's, a 9th grader and an 11th grader who is participating in sports. We have 2 weeks that we have been going and getting our, making our test and getting to be able to get the daily pass. And I am very happy that the district does have this for my daughter and myself, so we can do our part to prevent the risk of COVID infection. But we do have to work on finding the time to go and get tested. And for us, the facility that we use it is about a 20-minute walk. So we do have to make the time, and also make sure that, we look, because we've asked where are the tests going to. So we have to make sure that we're looking at the emails to see where the test results are coming, and then work on getting the test results and linking, like they said, so make sure that we have the daily pass. And it does help us to get into the school facility a lot easier. Since I do work there, I make sure that I do have that available, so I can, just get scanned and I'm good to go at school for work. And then my daughter, I dropped her off today so she can have her practice, and she will have a game tomorrow. So as soon as we get our test done, we get the results back, then she has the ability to have that daily pass as well. And it makes it a lot easier. And, for me, it is an insurance that, we are doing our part to make sure that we are screened, and that, we stay safe. And we also have that, we're doing our part for the rest of the team and for the rest of our community.
Irma, I'm going to translate now. And let me know if I missed something, okay? Voy a hacer un resumen de lo que dijo Irma. Básicamente ella dice que sí es algo que tienes que planear, porque toma tiempo, especialmente si vas a hacer la cita para la prueba de COVID y en el caso de ella tiene que caminar 20 minutos más el tiempo que toma hacer todo lo que tienes que hacer en línea. Pero para ella pues vale la pena porque fue rápido de alguna manera el resultado que obtuvo de la prueba y eso le permitió a su hija casi inmediatamente ir a asistir a su práctica deportiva porque recibes ahí mismo en la misma herramienta, recibes el resultado, así que ella nomás tuvo que hacer planear la cita de la prueba y ya todo lo demás se fue dando en la misma plataforma digital del Daily Pass. Con el Daily Pass ya pudo obtener el resultado, tener el código, ir a la escuela y tener acceso a la práctica deportiva. Y ella dice que ella está contenta de que el distrito se esté asegurando de hacer eso porque es una manera en que como padre uno puede tener la responsabilidad de que no nada más nuestros hijos, sino toda la comunidad esté segura y del riesgo de COVID. ¿Lo dije bien, Irma?
Sí, muy bien. Yes, thank you.
And I also think you have a question regarding how the district is planning to enforce, for all students to comply with the Daily Pass tool.
And
Because-
yes, that was my question. Because like I said, if we do have this tool, are we going to be able to enforce it, require it, or try to get the majority of the students to do that? Because as of now, I noticed that students are telling me that it is getting difficult for them to do it on a weekly basis. So they do come to school without that daily pass because they have missed or have not been able to get to making an appointment or make time to take the test. So that is my concern, and waiting to hear for what other alternatives the district has. Thank you.
La pregunta de Irma es que ella en su experiencia ha visto como algunos estudiantes no han podido hacer su prueba de COVID a tiempo o no saben o no han tenido tiempo. So ella se pregunta cómo el distrito planea asegurarse de que todos los estudiantes puedan cumplir con su protocolo de seguridad.
Elva, I don't know if you want to take that one, but I'm excited to share it as well. So
Go ahead, Nancy, you can start.
Yeah, so I'm excited to share that the district is thinking about making it easier. It is a new routine, right? And also like it's new routine. So I understand that it's hard to stay consistent. And I believe the district, because of that, wanted to make it easier, and they will be providing testing at the schools so that our students don't have to travel to a testing center nearby in their community. They could actually get tested at their school that they are enrolled in. And Elva could elaborate a little bit more what that's going to look like.
Sure.
Nancy acaba de decir que ella está muy emocionada de poder compartir, de que ellos están trabajando en eso, saben que existe esa posibilidad y van para los estudiantes que no puedan ir a otros sitios a hacerse la prueba, lo van a poder hacer en su misma escuela.
Elva, do you want to elaborate on how that's going to look like? Or?
Sure, I will elaborate a little bit. I think Irma has a really good point that she's thinking ahead. How do we make it accessible to everyone and make sure that it's not cumbersome to get to a site where the testing is occurring? So I really thank her for her feedback. And the district had been looking ahead to making it easier for everybody. And we had 43 sites, and we know that that's not enough for our many hundreds of schools. So the district at this time has extended hours at the current sites to ensure that all of our students are able to get their baseline test, their first test, to be able to return to school. After that, what we are doing is we're gradually transitioning into a model where we have a mobile team that comes on a van and comes to the school site. So they will be visiting all the school sites And they will be rotating through several, through all the communities of schools, and your school will have an opportunity to have the students and the staff and possibly our parents that are nearby get their COVID test on site. So, so we've heard you, we know, we're listening to you, we hear your needs, and we are responding by creating these mobile teams. And that will reduce the need to have to go to the local school site. But if you're, if you are currently comfortable with that setting, they will continue for a little bit. And at some point, we'll have a transition point. But right now, we are planning to have our students that came back to school yesterday. They were greeted, and some of them already had the experience of the testing done at the school site.
Elba nos estaba diciendo que a pesar de que existen 43 sitios alrededor del distrito escolar para hacerse la prueba, el distrito está consciente de que no es suficiente para las cientos de escuelas que hay en el distrito, pero por ahora estos centros han extendido su horario de servicio para poder acomodar a la mayor número de estudiantes. Pero también ella habló de que va a haber equipos móviles que se van a trasladar de una escuela a otra o van a visitar varias escuelas en el distrito para que más estudiantes tengan la oportunidad de tener estas pruebas. Y de hecho ya ayer, el martes que empezaron algunos estudiantes a asistir a la escuela, fueron los primeros que ya pudieron recibir la prueba por medio de estos equipos móviles que van a estar alrededor del distrito. Elba, you can go on.
Okay, so the question that we have, or what we wanted to talk about is what alternatives do parents who do not want to use the Daily Pass, what are those alternatives for parents? And so if we can think about this, we have a couple of alternatives here. Number one, a parent who doesn't have the ability to use Daily Pass to schedule their testing appointment can call our Family Help Desk. Our Family Help Desk has agents that are working from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and our parents can call and they'll be able to help them schedule a test appointment using their child's ID. Parents also have another choice. If they want to go with an outside medical provider, they can submit the test result, that is negative test result, from their medical provider at the Daily Pass website. And they can go through that avenue and upload the test. And it does have to be a PCR test, and it has to be taken 7 days prior to the child returning to school. So that is another option. And finally, students will also be reminded at every entry point to answer the daily health check questions verbally before entering campus. So we can facilitate the process where the student has their QR code for their Daily Pass on a device or on paper that's been printed out. But if those two options are not available, an alternative for parents is that the student will be able to answer the questions upon arrival at the entry point of the school. So these are 3 different ways of supporting entry into the school site.
Sí, para las familias, para los padres que están buscando una alternativa a tener que hacer este proceso del pase diario, existen 3 alternativas. Una es que los padres pueden llamar a la línea de ayudas para familias en el teléfono que aparece en la pantalla y que ya se los mencionamos, de 6 de la mañana a 6 de la tarde, de lunes a sábado, y pueden programar una prueba con el ID del estudiante. La otra es que ustedes pueden ir con su doctor de cabecera de familia y pedirle que haga una prueba, pero tiene que ser una prueba de PCR y tiene que ser dentro de 7 días de que el niño o la niña planea regresar a la escuela. Y la última es que si usted no tiene acceso a imprimir o a mostrar el código del pase diario, la alternativa es que alguien puede hacerle el chequeo, la evaluación, hacerle las preguntas al estudiante en persona. Cuando su hijo o hija vaya a la escuela, puede pedir para que una persona le haga la evaluación y las preguntas de manera verbal antes de entrar a la escuela. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so what will students have to do to get on campus every day? We're on I think we had covered that already.
Yeah,
I guess I'll review it again. And I think that's, so I think what we've presented so far is that in order for our students to get on campus every day, they have to have a negative COVID test. They have to do so 7 days prior to their start of school. They have the opportunity for the parents to consent so that they continue to get their periodic testing on site, on campus. And then that every day upon arrival, our students and our staff will all have a daily health check where they'll answer some questions, and they'll also be administered a temperature check. And all of these are designed to ensure a safe and healthy return to campus.
Para repasar, lo que significa el pase diario es que va a permitir a su estudiante poder estar en persona en el plantel escolar. 1, tiene que mostrar una prueba de COVID negativa que se haya hecho dentro de los 7 días antes de que regrese, antes de que el estudiante vaya a la escuela. Los padres pueden además firmar el consentimiento para que se les haga la prueba periódicamente en sus escuelas. Y la otra cosa es de que todos los días, cada día que el estudiante esté en el plantel escolar, se le tiene que hacer el chequeo diario o la evaluación, las preguntas, como lo quieran llamar, el cuestionario de cómo se siente ese día, le van a checar la temperatura y todo esto es para poder asegurar que todos los estudiantes y todo el personal de la escuela está seguro en el regreso a la escuela.
Esme, and if I can add one more thing, I know that we've put all these great procedures in place to reopen our schools, but they're also designed to ensure that we keep our schools open. And so they're new habits that we are developing, but really our goal is to not just reopen, it's to stay open. And so I think we're all eager to stay open.
Yeah, of course. Claro que sí. Elba está diciendo, este procedimiento no solo es para poder reabrir las escuelas, sino para poder mantenerlas abiertas, porque es importante que ahora que estén abiertas, todos estén seguros. Y esta es la razón principal de que por qué tenemos que seguir estos protocolos de seguridad. Thank you, Alba. And now I just want to remind the people who are watching, who are joining us today, that you can type your questions or comments in the comment section. And so we will get to your questions shortly. And I want to also introduce another parent, the Speak Up's parent, Raquel Toscano. She's also parent coordinator for Speak Up, and she has children in LAUSD in the Southeast. Raquel, can you please ask your question to our guests today?
Yes, thank you. First of all, I think I want to thank each one of you. This is great information for all. And my question, I think half of it has been answered, but I will answer and maybe there's something else that I missed. Is there a shortcut for parents to use a daily pass or have they must go through the parent portal to access the account? And the reason why I'm asking, because it's been changed from the parent portal to the passport. So a lot of parents, if not most. First of all, their concern is that is it a due application? Should I go through, like Ms. Lugo was explaining, a daily pass and then it just automatically goes there? Or how is it? Or again, is there a shortcut to skip all those steps and go to the point?
So we are able, so there is a shortcut, right? To add it to your phone, right? And so that it looks like an app that is available. And we have achieved lausd.net / daily pass, right? You could access those job aids to add them to as a shortcut on your cell phone, so that you could easily access it on your cell phone as an app. It looks like an app, but it's really just a shortcut to the web page. But in regards to skipping those steps, yeah, you could probably skip those steps, right, by booking an appointment as a guest, but you run the risk and the frustration of not having those test results linked to your child, right? And then you're gonna end up on the hotline because you can't get a daily pass because the test results are not linked to your children. So I know, right, it's a one-time thing, and it is pretty laborious, but because this is gonna be a daily thing, we wanna it's gonna be hard in the beginning, but then afterwards it'll be streamlined because there's no room for error. Your children that are linked in the parent portal, that's data that we have from your school site, right? And so we use that data and pull it into the daily pass so that we could have accurate student data when you get those daily passes. And we're gonna make sure that those test results are linked to your child's daily passes. So it may seem like a long road right now, but it'll be easier in the end.
Sí, lo que preguntó Raquel es que si hay alguna manera de saltarse todo ese proceso de ir al Parent Portal, crear la cuenta y hacer todo eso. Y lo que Nancy le respondió es, sí se puede, puedes hacerlo de manera independiente, pero a la larga te va a tomar más tiempo hacer todo el proceso cada vez, mientras que si logran ir al Daily Pass, a la plataforma que ya existe, van a tener todo en un solo lugar. Puede que les tome más tiempo al principio, pero a la larga va a ser corto y van a estar familiarizados con el proceso.
Can I just say one more thing, Ms. Fabian? Just go to your school, ask for help from your school. They have town halls, the principals are there to support you. They have teams of people who could support you. Please reach out to them and start practicing right now getting your daily pass. So if it's kind of awkward, then you could at least reach out for us for help. Okay, that's it.
Sí, la doctora Lugo dice que por favor acudan a sus escuelas, vayan con el centro de padres, hay gente que les puede ayudar con la parte técnica o con cualquier pregunta que puedan tener, están ahí para ayudarles cuanto antes. Y entre más práctica tengan, mejor y más rápido van a estar familiarizados con el proceso. So thank you all. We have a few minutes left. But I just want to address these questions that we got in the comments. And these two are very important. The first one is, do we need to put the COVID vaccine to children 16 and up, or could we could just do the test? I think the question is, if the children are vaccinated, do they still have to do the COVID test?
Esme, I can answer that question for you. We are currently testing all of our employees and staff and students, and independently of whether or not they've been vaccinated. The testing process is a way to mitigate the spread of the virus. And so that's a precaution that we're taking across the board.
Sí, Elba dice que están haciendo la prueba a todo el personal de la escuela, estudiantes, maestros y todo el personal en una acción de precaución, independientemente de si están vacunados, creen que es una medida que se debe hacer, el hacer la prueba de COVID para asegurar que todo el mundo está libre del riesgo de contagio. Thank you, Elba. The other comment that we have is we have a parent who is saying that she tried to get into the Daily Pass portal using her cell phone, but she couldn't access the Daily Pass web page. Do you know what this might have happened? Una de nuestras madres está preguntando que ella entró al portal de Daily Pass a través de su celular y no pudo accesar a la página de Daily Pass.
Si tiene, sorry, if she's having issues, if we could get our parents to email us so that we could look at exactly what's happening, and we'll get Microsoft to help us resolve it for them. So that's dailypass@lausd.net.
Sí, dice que intente el dailypass.lausd.net y que si sigue teniendo problemas que puede llamar para que le den asistencia el equipo de Microsoft.
And then just one more thing, the district has the website, the COVID-19 testing website in LA Unified's network webpage, has a lot of valuable information, a lot of links to tools, so use that as well.
La página del lausd.net tiene muchos enlaces a los que puede usted hacer clic y le va a llevar a obtener más información. Creo que pusimos ya unos enlaces, unos links en la parte de comentarios. Visiten esas páginas y si no, pueden de cualquier manera acudir a sus escuelas y el personal de la escuela les puede ayudar con todo este proceso. No tenemos otra, bueno, tenemos varias preguntas. Quiero, I just want to thank everyone, Nancy, Dr. Lugo, Elba, Beatriz, Claire, Dr. Luna, Irma, Raquel. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I know this is, you know, it's new and there are a lot of questions and there might gonna, you know, emerge other questions on the way of us learning this process, but at least we are having, you know, the basics, and we know this is for a good reason that we're doing this. So I just want to thank you so much for joining us today. And as parents, the parents that are watching us, thank you so much, because I know that if you are tuning in, it's because you want to make responsible decisions for the safety of your kids and your family. So muchas gracias a la doctora Lugo, a Nancy, Elba, Beatriz, Claire, Sarah, me estoy olvidando a alguien, Dr. Luna, Irma, Raquel, gracias por su participación. Yo sé que es importante, si nos está viendo es porque le importa tomar decisiones que son para el bienestar de su familia, de sus niños. If you wrote a comment that was not addressed, or if you type a question and that wasn't answered, please check back our Speak Up Facebook page tomorrow and we will respond to you, or later today. Si usted escribió un comentario, tuve una pregunta que no le pudimos contestar hoy, se la vamos a contestar si nos sigue en la página de Speak Up en español, de la página de Facebook, y ahí le vamos a responder su duda. And before you leave, please like our page. We will love you in our online community, and we're going to be doing this weekly. And so we're here for you. Send us a comment. Thank you again for joining us today. And we hope you join us on our next Facebook Live. Muchas gracias a todos. Danos un like en la página de Facebook de español. Y vamos a tener más de estas conversaciones la próxima semana. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos.